Okay, so welcome back, and I hope that each one of you have listed all the big problems that you've identified in all different aspects of your life, whether it is work or your family, your personal relationships. You've listed all of them down. Now let's come back and continue our journey with Rama to find our way to be a superhero. So, what I'd like each one of you to do is bring out the world of work map. And just like what a map does, it helps you find the way to your destination. And that's exactly what the world of map is going to do. We've got different islands, and we're going to journey through these different islands, trying to find the purpose, the root cause of all these big problems that we have in our life, whether it's work, our relationships with our spouse, our friends or family, or it even could be our children. And if you're doing this course as a self improvement course, and let's say you don't have any of these islands, that you can relate to, feel free to replace this with any island that you think, could be those big problems of your life. All right, so let's start with the very first island that we have, which is the Meeting Land. So, quick question, what do you think happens in Meeting Land? No prizes for that answer. Of course, they are meetings. And Meeting Land has got two sides to it. So we've got the first aspect of Meeting Land, which is the Valley of Excellence. So what happens in the Valley of Excellence? This is where your meetings are super productive, and you walk in and you know exactly why you're attending the meeting, and you can get real your objectives are being met, and you get the impact of attending those meetings, and you really see value in doing that. And then on the other hand, you've got the Cliff of Death. Ta-da! So what do you think happens in the Cliff of Death? Of course, just like the name, they're you're attending these meetings and you don't even know why you're attending some of these meetings. So what I'd like you to do is I just want you to take a moment and think about why meetings go wrong. What is it that impacts or wastes time in those meetings? And let's take an example of, let's say, I'll give you an example, where you hear people say, oh, we attend meetings and there's too much time wasted. Now, what do you think that could be? Is it a symptom or a root cause? And I'll give you some time to think through that. So you have 3 seconds to come up with the answer. Tick tock, tick tock. Okay. And you are absolutely right. Wasting time or too much wasted time is a symptom. Now let's look at, spend some time thinking through why are meetings not so productive? So I'll give you a few minutes, and I want you to really think through the root causes as to why our meeting's not productive. Okay, I'll wait for a few minutes. If you still need more time, feel free to pause the video and come back to it when you're ready. Let's move on to the next island, which is the Land of Solitude. Now, this is where people enjoy working alone. And you've got the Productivity Cave. Now this is the cave where when you're working in this cave, you just have creative juices flowing, and ideas keep coming up, and you're in the zone, and you're really enjoying working, and you're churning work out, and you feel super successful. And then on the other hand of this island, you have got the bottomless pit. Doom. Now, what happens in the bottomless pit? This is, the zone where you're just not able to be productive. You don't feel effective. You're not efficient. Working alone doesn't really bring out the best in you, and you think that, spending time here, you're just not being able to do anything. You're just wasting time. So whether it is at work, or even, let's say, doing things, or even planning a vacation for that matter, you can't do it alone. and you really find yourself stuck. So let me give you an example of, what do we hear people say? So people say that they always tend to get interrupted. Now, do you think that is a symptom or a root cause of people working in solitude or working alone? 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3, and the answer. You are right again. It is a symptom. Because there's a lot more to why people are not able to work alone. And we really, want to find out what is preventing you from being effective and that awesome self that you are. So I'd like you to take some time and write down, pen down everything that prevents you from being in that zone when you're working alone. All right, again, you've got a few minutes to do that. If you think you need more time, feel free to pause the video and you can always continue from there on. All right, let's move to the next land. Ta-da! The next land is team land. Now, this is a land most of us are familiar with, because at work, we're constantly working in teams, or even in our personal life, we're always working in teams. Whether it is teaming up with your spouse or your children, or even at work if you're not working in teams, but we're always working with people, across teams. So even if you're an individual contributor, that doesn't matter. You're still working with people. And in this land, in team land, we've got two sides to it. You've got the mountain of cooperation. Now, this is where everybody's working together. We're making things happen. Everything's just moving like clockwork. We're able to really enjoy working together. We're collaborating. Sharing of information is free. So there's nothing restricting people. But suddenly things go wrong and they blow up into this mountain of fire. Now, this is where people are not sharing stuff, and they don't want to, where things start going wrong, and people say that they have their own agenda. And do you think having your own agenda is a symptom or a root cause? Again, 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and you are right. It is a symptom again. So, because there's a much deeper reason why people, would not work together as teams, and people, having an agenda. Naturally, we're all social animals. We like to work well with each other. So, there's a much deeper reason to why this could happen. And I'd like you to go back and again think about all those reasons as to what could go wrong when you're working with teams. All right, I'll pause, and you've got a few minutes to do that. Again, if you are ready, then please, you can continue with the video, or feel free to pause and then continue. Now we move on to the next continent, which is the continent of communication across the nation. So what happens in the land of communication is you've got this amazing forest of understanding where everybody understands each other, and we don't have to repeat ourselves, and I just have to say things once and they land really well and people get it in the first go. So everything just works seamlessly, and and people get it. People just get it. And then you've got the other side, which is the swamp of darkness. Now, what do you think happens in this swamp of darkness? This is where no matter how many times you've explained and explained and tried to tell people things, people just don't get it. And you're going like, oh my God, am I speaking gibberish here? But guess what? What do you think happens? And one of the symptoms or root causes to this could be, let's say, people just go completely quiet. So do you think that's a symptom or a root cause? 3 seconds. And you are right. It is a symptom again. People generally, would speak up if they feel safe. And if they're quiet and they're not speaking up, it could be that the environment is not really supporting them in doing so. And, they don't feel the trust to open up and share what's on their mind. So that's really, continent of communication, and I'd like you to take a few minutes to quickly pen down what could be those root causes for lack of communication. And again, you can pause the video if you'd like more time, and if you think you are ready, then we can continue to the next island, which is Fulfillmentopedia. So what do you think is Fulfillmentopedia? It's simply about, you feeling good, you feeling excited to be at work, and you enjoy being at work. And you've got the other end, which is from the feel good jungle, you move to the desert of despair. So what happens in the desert of despair is that you really don't feel like being at work, and you don't want to be with all these people, and it's not something that you enjoy doing. So and again, some of the what you see happening in that space is that people are gossiping and they're backbiting, and there's a lot of behavior, and that's not again, it's very frustrating to be working in an environment like that can be really, really toxic and not let you feel fulfilled. So what do you think is preventing you from feeling fulfilled in at work, or in any relationship? I'd like you to give it a thought and pen down the root causes that you think are preventing you from experiencing Fulfillmentopedia. All right. If you're done and you're back, let's go to the last island, which is the uncharted waters. Now, this is, just in case we've covered all these islands, and if you think that there are areas of your life that, are not covered in any of these islands, feel free to use this space, which you've not really explored into, but you see a lot of problems arising, and think through what could be some of those root causes that are causing these problems. Now, I'd like you to just take a few minutes and go back and revisit all these root causes that you've put down there, and tell me what percentage of these root causes that you've identified are people related. I have more often than not got answers around 100%. Now, far and few have got people saying, anywhere up to about 80%. But I'm really curious to know what is your response. And yes, all these aspects of your life, if you go back and think about of you not feeling fulfilled, and all these communication breakdown, and people not collaborating and not getting the best out of you when you're in this environment that is so toxic, you really can't be your true self and give your best. Yes, you're right, they're all people related causes. And we are here at DC going to provide you with the solution to take care of these people related causes. Because if you can solve people related problems, then everything else, all these tiny problems that keep coming over and over and over and over again, will just take care of itself. So I'd like you to, make sure that as we journey through this course, spend time thinking through all these root causes, and we will then talk about how can you really feel fulfilled and achieve all the goals that you have set for yourself in your life or at work, and how can you really be productive and feel that you're contributing, and how you can be a good leader and a good a good parent or a good spouse, and be successful in every aspect, and be productive in every aspect of your life. I will see you on the next video. Until then, take care.